Let me shimmy on over closer to those, so they have to use the unaimed shots. Alright, big gun number 4 is destroyed. Big gun number 5 is damaged. Ow.
Engage the lads! Commence the symphony of macro cannons!
Okay. Reinforce the left shields. Let's do a swing run in the dust cloud so I'm harder to hit.
Set course!
Oh, now that I've UE'd, I can do this. Nice, okay. Alright, so there's still that guy. I worked for a few hours and Muck is assaulting a moon-sized building. That's no moon.
The destination is known. Engage the lads!
Today's the Elite Spec preview, yes.
Lads! Let the macro cannons
Oh my
sing
god.
their
It's a tiny
twisted
ship. Why is it taking so much
song.
hits? Ah.
Engage the macro cannons!
The enemy shield is down. Time to unleash a counterattack.
Nervous.
Unleash our fury!
The target was well structured.
Barrage!
Okay. I think now all we have is the big building.
Cannons. Initiate macro cannon barrage! Set course!
Do a quick save just in case. This was actually pretty freaking close.
Lads! Let the macro cannons sing their twisted song! Point master, if you please.
What the heck? The little interceptors were acting weird. Oh no, there's more!
Engage the macro cannons!
Alright, they've lost the power to the thingamabob.
Engage the lads!
Launch more dudes. Reinforce the right shields. Swing run. Alright, that doesn't help at all. Okay. Take care of that. Alright. Are you gonna watch the reveal? Not live. I'll be watching it during my evening stream tonight. We can fast forward through all of the fluff.
Let the macro cannons sing their twisted song.
There we go. Okay, that was close. But that was our first time fighting what basically amounted to a moon base. All the tech issues? Oh yeah. Lord Captain, their resistance is broken and the cleanup parties are landing on Harryock's rim. What are your immediate orders? Give it to the Imperial Navy? Make it a trade hub. We'll continue to do business with pirates, +5 profit. No. Lose a profit factor. Tow the base to my homeworld and have it guard it. Dogmatic, destroy the station. Honestly, 5,000 in Navy stuff is insane, and Navy is where you purchase ship parts. I think we give it to the Navy. Tow? Yeah, you can tow it. So I'm gonna say, may this station serve the Imperial Navy and become their outpost. The admirals will appreciate the gift, and the merchants will extol your lordship for bringing a new safe route to the Expanse. 5,000 reputation gained. Nice. Repair ship. Have you ever done a heretic playthrough? Or Iconoclast? I think my first playthrough was an Iconoclast one. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I was very much like, being a decent person, which is usually Iconoclast. So I haven't really done a heretic one. Let's see. What's that? Janus. Okay. Got a quest there. Inform the prefect of the inspection outcome. Warp travel. 2 profit factor gain. Neat. Let's reduce the danger of this route. Okay, so we've got some quest here. Let's see what this is. Moonbase mine now, yoink. Very strong rope. Dargonis. Inform the prefect of the inspection outcome. Administratum. I have to bring Solomorn for this. Okay. Can I ask you a Sue question? Yes. Let's see. Request denied. The waiting hall is full. Let me in. My husband has been dead for 10 years. They still haven't registered his birth. The mob crushed 2 clerks. 2 clerks, big deal. They should have worked faster. They haven't. My husband has been dead 10 years. They haven't registered his birth.
Give us a target.
All right. Let's see. I don't know if we're gonna be in a fight in here, so let me level this guy up, who I was forced to bring. Double slug. The shotgun attack allows the Arbiter to make 2 single shots against the target. Double slug. Choose talent. Heal per turn. Does he have the plus hit point one I try to get on everyone? He does not. It will not die. Get that. Ballistic skill. Demolition. Choose talent. Max health of dog increase. Okay, there we go. Alright. Quick serve. Can't wait to see Muk playing new game which Outcast's cooking right now, the Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
In this tapestry of the world,
Greetings, Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
And the rogue thread.
The towering piles of papers and endless shelves heaving with ledgers evoke special reverence for the laws of the God Emperor of the Adeptus Administratum. Petition. What is this? Through the efforts of the Adeptus Arbites at my family estate, 12 criminals among the members of my family were terminated. The proctor in charge of the purge decreed that the bodies be left lying at the scene of the crime for further investigation. 40 planetary cycles have passed since then. The heavy odor and vermin resulting from keeping dead bodies without the ability to transport them ceased to be of concern to me after the first 2 days. However, the mummified remains of the criminals prevent my estate from properly functioning at this time. I humbly request that another officer be assigned to oversee the investigation and that they be informed of the necessity of progressing the investigation of my home. They left 12 dead bodies in the house and said, be back soon, don't touch these, and they haven't been back for 40 days. Petition rejected in accordance with Protocol UP 1845. The assignment of the head investigator is regulated by Protocol UCH 9389. Note, a fine is to be imposed on the petitioner for failing to preserve the evidence. For failing to preserve the evidence, they're gonna fine them. Oh my god.
What lies beyond?
Ordered the destruction of the special category item Thesertium, Natural Psi Focus. There is a note in the margin that has been underlined twice. Existence of similar resources. Check the Mining World Register. Oh, that's me. Report, capture of the void ship Heartless. Boarded the Heartless as part of the unit led by S. Anthar. Neutralized the target Sargona. The captured vessel was turned into an escort ship. The word escort has been circled several times in ink. That's me too. Rykad Minoris. Arrived on Rykad Minoris during evacuation, took S. Anthar aboard flagship. The world is to be considered null and void. Side note reads, damage assessment, tithe recalculation, urgent. A cycle is a year? Oh god, they left it for 40 years? I thought it was a day. Prefect. The shriveled, insect-like old woman greets you with a keen look. Welcome back to the Temple of Law and Order, your lordship. I have already been informed that you are here about Thessera. Prefect Volter nods to herself and snaps her brittle fingers, prompting a servo skull to flit closer, the creaking of its quill filling the air. Begin entry 514 Alpha. In the matter of the world Thessera and its obligation to pay the Imperial tithe, this audience with the Prefect of the Adeptus Administratum is now in session. Now then, what were your findings, Mukluk von Valancius? A heretic had seized power on Thessera. I had him executed. I see. The old woman looks at you intently over her ocular lenses. This is regrettable news. Even if your action was forced by circumstance, the loss of the governor means the loss of the very stability that any servant of the Administratum is immutably obligated to uphold and protect. Let's get to the record then. The prefect turns to the servo skull. Rogue trader Mukluk von Valancius effected the execution of the governor of Thessera appointed by the Adeptus Administratum. Preliminary damage assessment and restoration forecast of the world's key structures, Class A severe, noted and recorded. I discovered a material on Thessera known as Thesertium, a potent psi focus. I had it destroyed in the interests of the Imperium's security. The prefect grimaces. I can quite confidently deem that outcome to be averse to the interests of the Imperium. Alas, your lordship, I am duty-bound to deliver an exact and impartial assessment of the events. Rogue trader Mukluk von Valancius, upon learning about the existence of deposits of a natural psi focus located on the world of Thesera, destroyed said material in its entirety. Consequently, the Imperium was deprived of a highly prized resource, noted and recorded. I don't like how she wrote that. Single player as far as I could tell. Yes, this is a single player game. Just attach giant engines to it and turn into a massive warp ship with massive lasers. There you go. Does LFG Relics will have all other relic stats in it? Sorry, does Legendary Relic have all other relic stats in it? Do I have to make each relic to unlock the stats in the Legendary? Okay, so Legendary Relics get all of the stuff that, like if you make a Legendary Relic, it automatically has, I think, everything from Soto, even if you hadn't unlocked it. But from Janthier onward, you have to unlock whatever relic to have it appear on the Legendary list. Yeah, I hope that made sense. Prefect in Scribia. The Prefect chews on her lip and thought. I will be frank with you, your lordship. The conclusions that were drawn regarding the Thesera inspection were far from satisfactory. Minor disturbances such as a mass execution of mutants or the Rabble's plot disguised as a celebration are not nearly as dangerous as the, if you will permit my choice of words, coup that resulted from your intervention. I understand that consequences are something that those endowed with power are wont to leave to their servants to deal with, and therefore something that they find acceptable to ignore. Inscribia's ocular lenses flash as she looks up at you with her scrolls. However, I hope my words may help you to revise your approach when executing the Imperium's will in the Cronus Expanse in the future. With a tap of her nail, she dismisses the servo skull. How did you obtain such detailed information about the events on Thesera? Duty dictates that Adeptus Administratum officials always be adequately informed, otherwise our service to the Imperium's order would be of rather questionable use. Unfortunately, it is for the same reason that I cannot disclose my sources to you. I took care of a problematic world of yours, and you are twisting the fact regarding my efforts. The Prefect's ocular lenses flash as she replies in an offended tone. I, his lowly and unworthy servant, have no right to twist any facts. My duty is to assess consequences and do everything I can to make sure the Imperium receives what it is owed. That is the purpose of my existence. Suddenly, the old woman's voice becomes less stern and almost didactic. Speaking from my wealth of experience, if I do say so myself, taking care of the Imperium's prosperity is a heavy burden, albeit an honorable one. The fact that even a rogue trader can run into difficulties while doing it only further confirms my many years of observations. If you think that the Thessarian mineral is so important to the Imperium, make it part of the tithe. What is the problem? Of course, you have the power to change your decision at the snap of your fingers, but its implementation will fall to thousands upon thousands of Administratum functionaries. They will have to first record the previous status of the tithe and then begin an equally lengthy process of re-registering the payment. As servants of law and order, we cannot simply skip the cumbersome parts. Procedure must be followed meticulously, lest we become mired in anarchy. One way or another, we can consider the matter of Thesera closed. Am I correct? Closed and recorded. Yes. The old woman smacks her lips in satisfaction. However, that was just the first item on the agenda. Now, on to the next matter. The Prefect beckons over another servo skull, which obediently takes its place at her side. Begin entry 52-1 Sigma. Competency assessment of Proctor Solomorn Anthar based on his performance during the mission on the world Thesera. Oh, snap. You hear a painful metallic creak as Solomorn's augmented hand clenches into a fist. Competency assessment. Very well, Prefect. I am listening. Solomon did nothing that could be considered a violation of the Lex Imperialis. So as to avoid misunderstanding, allow me to clarify that I am not making any judgment, but rather gathering information at Marshal Strock's request. The Prefect turns to Solomorn. Proctor Anthar, you will be evaluating your own conduct in this instance. For my part, I will merely state a few key points. Let us begin. How would you describe your performance, taking into account the following facts? Vulture produces a parchment scroll. You took part in the execution of an Administratum appointee without its appropriate permission. You also allowed yourself to be captured, thus endangering your mission and imperiling the valuable equipment issued to you by the Adeptus Arbites. What is more, you sanctioned a tithe-related decision that carries adverse consequences for the Imperium. The old woman paused. That is all. Proceed to your self-evaluation. Solomorn's heavy gaze is fixed upon the Prefect as he slowly forces the first word out of his jaws as if they have turned to stone. I took every effort and was acting solely in the name of the Lex Imperialis. However, the outcome of the mission speaks for itself. My verdict is thus that my performance in the Thessera case was inadequate. Noted and recorded. The prefect's immaculately polished ocular lenses bore into you once more. Now that the Thessera inspection report has been properly entered into the record, allow me on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum to officially extend our gratitude to you for the support you provided to us. May the Von Valancius name be forever praised, and may the Emperor protect your dynasty for many generations to come. That said, I must now request your assistance in a different capacity. A number of highly important court cases have accumulated at the Palace of Justice, the kind that require formal resolutions by the rogue trader himself. Are you not being a little harsh on yourself, Solomon? Exactly as harsh as my duty demands that I be. An arbitrator has no right to mistakes or weaknesses. Our mission is much too important. The proctor's voice sounds firm but detached, as if his mind is wandering far away. I don't like Solomon as a teammate in my group, but I really like him as a character. And I don't like that she's being mean to him. I believe you are biased against Solomon. To which part of the assessment would you impute bias? Everything in it's based entirely solely on facts, and Proctor Anthar himself presented the conclusion. Regardless, the final judgment will be passed by Marshal Strox. What is the Palace of Justice? It is a temple of the law erected by your ancestors. Some cases could only be settled by heads of the dynasty, but since their time was occupied by other important duties, a facility was built for storing especially complex cases. At a certain point, servants of the Administratum were permitted to use the Palace of Justice for hearing disputes. Then, in Lady Theodora's time, the Arbites became part of the legal procedure as well. How will the trial proceed? The defendants will speak first, whereupon you can ask me clarifying questions on the case. And then, the old woman gives you a meaningful look over her ocular lenses. A death sentence must be passed. You are, of course, free to judge otherwise, but an execution is preferable, since in every case that will come to you, an outcome without highly unpleasant consequences is unlikely. Executions reduce the number of malcontents and motivate prospective defendants to solve their problems before they come under the purview of the rogue trader's court. One of the rogue trader's many duties is to mete out justice. I agree. I have relegated my current tasks in advance, and thus am ready to escort you to the Palace of Justice immediately. Please follow me. I need a chance to save the game. I wonder if it autosaves going through this door. Hey, my friend Muck Furman. Hi, RVM. Game autosaved. Excellent. Okay, so. Alright, so. It is 2 p.m. and I am out of time. I've got some stuff I need to take care of. We're going to take advantage of that autosave right now. And we are going to eagerly pick it up from this moment next time.